In the game of loans, you either win or you learn. Welcome to the game of loans, where fortunes are forged and empires are built. Your hosts, lords of lending and wholesaling, are here to guide you through the realm of real estate and wealth building. Brace yourselves, cash flow is coming. Welcome to episode 14 of the Game of Loans. We have Maria Sanchez over here as our wonderful guest, and to the left of me, the person who stole my seat, Melissa Barone. We're going to chastise her in this fucking show today for taking my seat.
Great.
She should have never done that. So, Maria is a realtor and a real estate investor here in Nashville.
Yes.
Or all of Tennessee.
Oh, well, here in Nashville and Tulum. Yeah.
Here in Nashville and Tulum, Mexico. And before we started the show, she was explaining to us that she is half Mexican from her father's side, yes, and half Salvadorian from her mother's side.
Correct.
And American by birth. So she is a trifecta. So tell us a little bit about your story. You were born in LA.
Correct, yes. I was.
What part?
Los Angeles, South Central area.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. I like the way you say, ooh, what is that? What's
nice.
that?
It's very active, South Central LA.
It sure was.
Yeah. It is active.
Yeah, very active.
That's a good word to describe it.
Yeah.
Active.
I like that. So you were born in the hood.
Correct. That's right. Like it. Straight to the point. You were born in the hood. I was born in the hood.
And then when did you move here?
2005.
2005.
Oh, wow. So you've been here a while.
Yeah, I came here in 2005 with $10,000 that I saved.
From LA?
Yeah.
Why did you pick Tennessee?
So I visited Tennessee and I realized that I was going to have more of an opportunity here because in LA, as we know, not everyone, but a lot of people speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. And I was young. I was only 21, 20, still in college. And I was like, you know what? It's going to take me longer for me to get where I want. Mm-hmm. I think over there because I'm competing with everyone. Like there's a lot of Marias, right? There's a lot of people like me and a lot more of the people would better qualify. If I move to Tennessee, I'm going to be a hot commodity. Why? Because I speak Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. And it's less expensive, right? So
were you involved in real estate in any aspect in LA? No, that started here.
No, it started here. I was actually doing social work at a young age.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so I said, you know what? I'm finishing my college out there. I'm moving out there, and I'm just going to figure things out. So I packed all my crap and drove all the way to Tennessee. And I got a job within 3 months and bought a house within 6 months and got into real estate. And I ended up getting my real estate license as soon as I relocated here.
That's amazing.
I said, you know what? Before I finish my degree, I gotta have something aside or something that's gonna give me a plan B. Is what I would tell myself. And I got my real estate license and I got into real estate. But I was in the Navy too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. So
you were in the Navy prior to coming here?
Right before that, I had signed a contract, but I decided to do reservist as instead of active.
Active duty.
Yeah, because I didn't want to go active duty because I was like, you know what? I don't want to go active duty because then I'm going to leave my sister behind. And I was thinking, I want to be able to help my sisters and be able to.
Did they move with you here?
Eventually they did, yes.
Oh, nice. And they're here now?
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, in 2015 and 2005, when you moved here, if you would have told people you're moving to Tennessee, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Get the fuck out of your
yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
But now you're brilliant.
Fast forward. Yeah.
Fast forward, they're like, you were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Right?
I heard it from everyone.
Right.
Family members like, what the hell are you
You're
doing?
moving to the South?
What the
Fucking
fuck are
crazy.
you doing?
I was like, you're the South. There's nobody there. Everyone's
Yeah.
racist. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
God spoke to me, and I'm going.
But you're happy with your decision,
Oh,
I imagine.
absolutely.
You're still here.
Yeah, absolutely. I did. And I one of the things
This
that
is
I don't,
home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things I don't regret is buying that house when I was young. I was scared as hell. I mean, I was still signing that paper, shaking like, oh my God, I'm gonna drown myself in debt. What about if I can't pay? What about all this?
Do you
doubts.
still have that house?
I don't. I actually sold it after I want to say
The crash?
I waited years after that because
nice.
I had that house already during that time,
Yeah.
but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to ride it through and sold it. I want to say in 2018.
Okay.
How
You
much
had
did
it
you
for a
buy it
while.
for?
123,000 brand new.
How much did you sell it for?
330,000. I want to
Nice.
say.
How much is it worth now? The same house.
I want to say like 380.
Oh, really?
Oh,
It
really?
only
It
went
didn't
up that
go up?
a little bit? It went up?
So, you know what? I something like that. I can't remember. I haven't done the comps on it, but I know that from when I sold it to now, it's worth more.
But not that much more.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't.
And
think
that was
so.
in Nashville?
And I want to say I sold it in 20 before the crash. Before COVID.
Okay.
I just don't remember exactly the
Okay.
dates. Yeah, because I used that money to invest that money like an Airbnb,
Nice.
and then
It's a very
Yeah.
controversial
Topic.
topic
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
show, Airbnb. I might have
So
to jump and.
Oh,
and
you
start-
sure
I'm
can.
gonna
I
start
don't
yelling
regret it at
I'll
all.
start,
Mine-
I'll start yelling in about 5 minutes. So.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Bring it on. But yeah,
No, so that's good. So you took that money, you bought an Airbnb,
I did.
but not a residence. Like you didn't buy another house to
No,
live
I
in?
do have another one. I bought another one during 2008, 2009 during the
Okay.
crash because it was an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
That's
got a
great.
great deal, fixed it, sold it later, and put money in other places.
See, and
Okay.
if you were in LA, that wouldn't even have been an option.
I mean, not to start
Yeah,
because I didn't have
exactly.
the capital.
Yeah.
And it would be a lot harder versus
Yep.
here because
Fucking impossible.
yeah. And the reason why is how much I was getting paid when I was in LA versus what I got paid here when I came to Tennessee was people would tell me, well, you're not going to get paid the same. They're going to pay you a lot less. Actually, no, they paid me more.
Nice.
And I was getting job offers everywhere
Wow.
That's
Great.
amazing.
because I was bilingual. So
Very good.
Yeah.
yeah, so no, it's I always say it's how you sell yourself, right?
Life. I tell my kids, life is one big sell, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, people are selling something that they are or they're not, and you're selling right back saying, I'm this. So it's just what
And
it is.
that's what we were speaking
selling each
about
other.
last week, I think, right? What's the most important thing to sell is yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now you bought your Airbnb in 2018?
No, I didn't. I bought the Airbnb in 2020 or 2021. I don't remember.
After
the
or
dates.
before COVID?
It was before COVID.
Okay.
So
So
that
2020.
was 2020.
How much did you buy it for?
300,000, I believe 305. I can't remember exactly the
And
numbers.
it's a house?
It's an apartment.
Where is it located?
It's in Midtown.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So now, how much is that worth now?
I want to say 450,000 or 500. That's what I've seen.
450, 500.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you were to buy that property today at 450 or 500,
Mm-hmm.
would it cash flow?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
I've made my point.
However, not to say I still believe in Airbnb and short-term rentals.
She's absolutely wrong. Don't
Okay.
listen to her.
All right.
I mean,
So-
yours is successful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you still have it
Oh
today.
yeah,
listen.
yeah. I'm not gonna get rid of it.
No, you shouldn't, because your cost basis makes sense.
Yeah, my numbers make sense. That's right.
Correct.
So for new investors, I mean, you have to really
It's a
know what you're
scam.
doing. You have to really know what you're doing. You have to make sure that your numbers match. And unless you just want to throw money in paid cash and you want to put your money somewhere than just sitting in your account, then it makes sense.
Right.
But if you're putting 20% down,
Yeah.
then you're kind of crossing a line of like, oh, is it gonna make those numbers? Because you still have to hire a property management company, so they take a cut. So what are your numbers?
I have a question for you. That property, if you were to rent it as a 1 year
As a
long-term
long
rental,
term.
long-term rental, would it still
Cash
cash flow?
flow?
Yes, for me. For
See,
me,
Yeah.
This is
okay. Not everyone has the same.
I understand. So that is my point.
Yes.
My point always is that if a property cannot cash flow or break even as a long-term rental, it is a bad fucking deal. You should
Absolutely.
not go in and Airbnb a property like that.
No,
It's
you have to
just-
do your numbers before that. You have to be savvy enough to understand the numbers, because if you're just buying blindly based on the word of Airbnb, I mean, short-term rentals do great, then you're going to be screwed.
100%.
You have to be savvy. You have to have somebody that's really advising you, knowing what you're
Yeah.
doing.
But the problem is there are not too many people that are savvy enough. The whole Airbnb short-term rental game is being pushed nonstop. You have a lot of idiot builders, that's all they're building right now. They're
But the numbers
trying
aren't.
they're trying to get a premium for them, and there's a bunch of assholes out there that are buying those fucking properties, and it's a trap.
You have to make sure that there's a good deal. I mean, I believe in short-term rentals if the price and the numbers are right. I mean, it's just, it has to match. Otherwise, yes, you're right.
Yeah, if
I
there's
mean, I've been
positive
looking
cash
at the
flow.
market and looking at Airbnbs. I was like, this is outrageous.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Doesn't mean that I don't believe in short-term rentals. It's just for new ones.
No,
I think.
look again. So I did I did a reel on basically saying that today Airbnbs are not a good investment. Again, nothing against Airbnb or short-term rentals. I use them all the time, right? And the comments were, "You're wrong. Mine's working." And immediate fucking question to them is, "When did you buy the fucking house?" "Oh, 2016." "Okay, right. Would it fucking make sense if you bought the same property today?" You know what they answer? 100% of the times, no, it wouldn't.
So I guess the best thing is like say it's for existing Airbnb short-term rental owners makes sense, right? If their numbers were right when they bought it.
Correct.
But for new buyers, then
It's very
better-
difficult. It's
Yeah,
very,
very
very
difficult.
hard. It's very
Yeah.
difficult. And my whole thing with them is, instead of going into something like that, you want to be in short-term rental. Think about something different in the short-term rental game. Think about glamping. Build a fucking tree house.
Which
I
is
don't
becoming
know.
very popular.
Go fucking put a boat on the fucking river and rent that out. You know,
like getting creative.
Get creative. Do like an experience. You know,
They're
Or-
popping up all over
They
Tennessee.
are.
You have these
Yeah.
mirror cabins, these domes, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
All of them are luxury style, but in the woods.
Yeah.
And
But that is an
Those make sense.
they're charging
and-
600 plus a night
Yeah,
minimum.
and but that's an experience, you know.
Yes.
Like I remember I saw a we were going to go to Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Airbnb in Orlando, which they're fucking crazy because they don't know, Disney will sue the fuck out of them. Disney doesn't play around, but it had a whole Disney theme inside. I was like, wow, this is a fucking cool
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like, think about the experience. There's Mickey Mouse all over the fucking place in the house. There's like Donald Duck and all that stuff. And like, to me, that's smart. If I have a property in Orlando and my kids want to go spend $3,000 a fucking day in a hotel, I'm going to say, no. Look at this. We could get this Airbnb. It has Mickey Mouse. It has this. It has that. Let's go there instead of blowing $15,000 on staying in Disney. So to me, that's my point. Airbnb, if you were positioned correctly, like any other investment, it makes sense. But in the past 4 years, these so-called gurus and realtors and fucking builders and everything like that, I think there's too many Airbnbs that have gone
Well,
up.
it's oversaturated.
It's completely
That's for
oversaturated. Then, I deal with real estate investors that are builders, and I see these assholes. They're putting them up in Airbnb places, but they're cannibalizing themselves in the same neighborhood. Right? I mean, you put up 12, then you put another 8, 3 blocks down. The other thing they're doing
They're
is
competing against themselves.
so they're cannibalizing themselves.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you can't go into a fucking Airbnb where it's an emerging market. It's gentrifying today. Who's staying there? I had a builder, and Manuel, and the guy's putting up Airbnb properties, and literally a block down, they're gangbangers.
I mean, East Nashville.
Well, but this is, it's 15 minutes off of, away from downtown downtown Nashville, and so on and so forth, and the area is gentrifying. Who are you gonna get? I mean, you put 4 girls in that Airbnb. God knows what's gonna happen to them, And the reviews that you're gonna get. I mean, everything. Your Airbnbs are based on reviews, right?
Yeah, correct.
You're going to get the review, oh, this was a great fucking Airbnb, but there were gangbangers 3 blocks away.
Even if it's noisy, like I've had complaints about noise upstairs.
Yeah.
And there goes a review.
Yeah.
So you have to compensate it with different ways. So you have to get creative when you have situations like that. For example, for my situation, I had to buy the earplugs and put a little sign like, hey, in case,
That's thoughtful.
90% of these are Airbnbs. We don't know. We have quiet times, but sometimes people don't listen. So I put a little note with earplugs. I mean, it might help. I mean, it's helped me. So I think when it comes to Airbnbs, yes, the market is oversaturated is what people say, but we have so many regulations now in place. So that kind of helps for the existing Airbnb owners, right? The short-term rental owners. I think I believe that as our economy gets better, it'll drive more tourists. And I think that short-term rentals will still continue renting. But you have to be creative, like you said. You rented the one that had the Disney theme, right? So if you're in Tennessee and Nashville, if you're in a great location, if you have all these competitions, what do? You have to get creative,
100%.
right?
Whether it's Dollywood themed or
you have
cowboy.
to find your oyster, right?
Yeah.
To make sure you bring them in.
So can we pivot a little bit? I have a few questions for you. So this is a 2-part one, but first, because we haven't really discussed how you got into investing and what locations you're investing in. So I know we spoke off camera, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into investing and where you're currently investing?
So the reason why I decided to buy Airbnb, short-term rental, I'm sorry, I keep saying Airbnb, short-term rentals.
He's going to get mad.
Short-term rental. I wanted to put my money in places where I know that I was going to have money coming in. Obviously, I don't want to say passive income because it's really, you don't know what's going to happen that month. But I wanted to make sure that I put my money somewhere. And I knew that I had long-term rentals. And I started looking into short-term rentals and looking at, okay, how much am I making on my long-term rental? How much damages am I getting throughout the year versus short-term rentals? And I was like, you know what? Let me dabble into the short-term rental, and I wanted to learn everything about short-term rentals. It's hard to find a mentor.
And where are you doing that exactly? Geographically?
It was in Midtown. I wanted a location that was closer to downtown. I didn't want downtown, but where Broadway was near Broadway because it was obviously more expensive. And at the time I was like, I want to buy something more where I felt safer financially. And I learned everything about short-term rentals. I read books. I did so much research, and I try to look for mentors. It's hard to find a mentor that can give you one-on-one, and I don't blame them. They're busy, so it's not like
Do you have a mentor now?
Well, she doesn't need it. She's a master
I know,
at this point.
but I mean, still.
We're
always learning.
She's probably the mentor.
Yeah.
You are the mentor at this point, I would say.
And
I'm always learning. Yeah.
Aside from Nashville, are you investing in other locations too? Tulum. Nice.
Yes.
What would you say the difference is between Nashville and Tulum as far as investing goes?
I think with Tulum, you have to be careful. You just need to make sure that you have the right person next to you advising you when buying over there. And when you talk about saturated, really, Nashville's great because Tulum is very oversaturated.
Is it?
Yeah. There's so many new constructions.
And it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's worse. And there's not regulations like we have here. At least the city came, hey, you can't Airbnb here. Yeah. You can't do short-term rentals here. Or if you do, it has to be owner-occupant.
There, it's free for all.
Yeah. So
For now.
Yeah, for now. So when it comes to Nashville, at least you have some restrictions, which helps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which helps.
So, I get asked a lot on Instagram, would you invest outside the United States? And my answer is always no, I won't do it.
And why not?
For instance, if I were to invest in Mexico, I don't trust the Mexican government. I just don't.
Yeah, and you have to be careful what the developers.
The other thing is, I want to be able to travel and, know that the laws in a particular country are going to protect me. And I don't feel that way. I don't think that the Mexican government is going to protect me in that way. I'm not Mexican. I'm not a citizen of Mexico. And, there's also an element of criminality in a place like Mexico, where you have a lot of the cartels that are involved in everyday life in Mexico. whether we want to admit it or not. That's just the case, right? And coming from New York, where I grew up, where we had gangsters, we had the mob, we had the mafia that was that way. It's a different way of life, and and those were gangsters in the United States that we had to deal with. Go fucking try and figure out how you're going to deal with gangsters outside the United States. It's tough. So I personally, because I'm not Mexican and I don't know the laws in Mexico, I always advise against people investing anywhere outside the United States.
Did you have partners or did you have established relationships in Tulum? Is that how you kind of started to invest there?
Well, initially, not really. On my second property there, yes, I had already kind of built connections there, and I went out there to kind of get to know the area,
Right.
get to know people, network, and I do have family, so I have my cousins are
Nice.
attorneys.
But that's different.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also...
And you also speak Spanish.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You have a couple of gringos going on there not speaking Spanish. I mean, that's a problem.
It's a much different world.
It's a much different world. It just is what it is. Again, my job is, I think, on social media is, even outside of social media, is, people come to me for education and advice, right? And I think so many people, and I think you're doing great. I think that's fantastic for you because A, you're half Mexican. B, you speak Spanish. C, you have people down there that you trust, right? So investing in somewhere like Tulum for you, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's great. But when it comes to normal Americans investing in a place like Mexico, I always tell them not to do it. I have something even better for you. I don't trust the Canadian government. When people ask me, hey, you think I should make an investment in, Vancouver? You're fucking out of your mind. Absolutely not. Don't do it. Do you know the Canadian laws? No, I don't. Do you have any motherfucker that lives in Vancouver? No, we don't. Why do it? But that's just me.
Yeah, I think that whoever's going to buy overseas they have to become familiar with their laws and anything to do with real estate, doing their research and making sure they have the right people next to them. I'm not against obviously investing out overseas. It's just you have to be smart
and do your research.
And do your research. Don't allow just someone else to do your research because you could be believing in someone and they might be.
Bullshitting
you or not knowing all the information and just understanding the laws and understanding real estate in other countries and understanding as a foreigner what is the buying process,
right.
And do you have to get a trust and why and why,
right?
Yeah, and
why
people
Tulum?
don't.
What made you decide to start investing there?
Just because it was a trendy place that people were going.
I think it's great.
It's in the Caribbean of Mexico.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love the Caribbean, right?
Listen, again, if somebody is Latino,
if you want to invite us, we'll absolutely.
Absolutely, we could do a podcast over there, right?
But if someone's Latino and they speak Spanish, I'm all for it. But it's almost like if I were to send you to Turkey and you don't speak a lick of Turkish, do you think that you could have accomplished what you're accomplishing in Tulum the same way?
I would have to solely rely on someone else.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
And you don't understand. You're sitting in meetings. You have people talking around you, and you're looking around like, "What the fuck are they
all
saying?"
laugh. Do you laugh with them?
No, really. And that's a situation. And I agree with you. But again, I'm not talking shit about Mexico because I love Mexico and I love Mexicans. But then again, there is a curveball in everything you're saying. You could have the laws, you could do everything right, but at the end of the day, shit could change like this.
And I think shit could change anywhere, here, everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. Anything to do with investment, there's a risk that you're taking,
there's a risk, but there's not a risk that you're going to have criminals come and fuck you up or take your
I've
shit.
never experienced that, and I never anyone and no one in my circle has there. I think it also depends on who you associate when it comes to that.
Well, I know somebody. I know someone very close to me that invested in a business down there, and guess what? The business was doing well, and he doesn't own it anymore.
He went and got taxed.
He got more than taxed. He got, this is nice. We're your partner. And by partner, we mean you're going to sign this over to us and get the fuck out. And
Or
that was
get
it.
clipped.
Or you're going to die.
What part of Mexico was that?
Was in Tulum.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, he's not Mexican. He's American.
Did he speak Spanish?
He even spoke Spanish,
Yeah.
yeah. But it is what it is. So for me, I'm not saying that doesn't happen to Mexicans also, but I think it happens less to Mexicans. I think there's an element, not just Mexico. Let's just take anywhere else. Let's say you want to fucking invest in Brazil or you want to go anywhere. I think that if you speak the language, not only speak the language, I just think, especially in Latin America or with Latinos, there's this different level of respect amongst Latinos than there is if you're American. And if you're a gringo, you're a mark, in my opinion. And I've seen that multiple times.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, I think it's great that you're investing into them.
Yeah. So in today's time, 2025, which is crazy to say, what insights or knowledge or information would you share with people who are looking to start investing?
And investing in what aspect?
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
In real estate.
I mean, I think that
What's your outlook? What is your outlook on 2025? Like, what are you going to be investing in 2025?
right now I'm actually looking into multifamily. That's
Nice.
my take. Obviously,
Love it.
rates are
Yep.
high, but
I
you know
love
what?
it.
It's okay. It's okay. That's why I always say, well, when people ask me, I want to invest, what do you advise? Well, I always take a step back and say, okay, let's talk about what is your vision? What is your goal? What is money to you, right? What game do you want to play in when it comes to money?
Right.
Because there's different games in money, and investing is very versatile, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what is your comfort zone too, right? For me right now, I want a multifamily unit because that's in my goal. I have other things aside.
How many units? Multifamily meaning what?
Probably like 4 or 2.
Okay.
I mean, it depends.
Okay.
Just
So we're
something-
not talking commercial.
no.
5+
Something
units.
small, just because I have other projects that I'm working on. But that, and I just wanted to keep it right. And I believe that because I believe that 2025 is going to be a good year. I think things are going to get better.
I agree.
So as things get better, then prices go up, right? So I want to buy now, right?
Yeah.
And you know, everything's a risk. So that's what I think people should continue investing.
High risk, high reward.
I mean, yeah, right. Everything's a risk. It's just what is your comfort zone, and what's the game of money you want to play. Right?
So I have another question, which we haven't really dove into. So we're in the lending business.
Mm-hmm.
What type of financing are you using for projects? Are you
And why are you not using us?
Are you? Yeah.
Well, we could chat after and see.
No, we could chat
Yeah,
right
I
now.
met you
There's
today.
There's no after.
Yeah.
You can't
use
leave here
private
without giving us
lending?
business.
Or are you going to banks? What type of financing are you getting? Are you getting
Banks,
investors?
cash,
Okay.
banks, sometimes private lending. So,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Well,
different.
we'll definitely have to talk after this.
We'll talk right now. What do you have on the table? What are you buying?
Well, I'm looking right now, but yeah, definitely. We could talk
We
later.
could definitely help you.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
help you. We're top notch. We're going to be, not we're going to be, I would say we're one of the number one lenders right now around. So here in Nashville. And she's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she's
look
really
forward to hearing more about your
Yeah.
loans and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
that'd be good.
So when you're getting loans from the bank, what type of financing are you getting from the bank? Is it ground up construction? Like, what are you investing in? Have you done ground up construction yet?
Or
No.
rehabs?
So right now I've been looking into construction loans.
Okay.
So that's what I've been looking,
Okay.
just looking at different options
Okay.
for a project
Are
that I have
you
in mind.
trying to get into the new construction business?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have land in Smithville by the lake. So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
kind of
Oh,
looking
nice.
into a project that I have. My goal and my vision board, right?
Yeah.
Is to have it completed by probably the ending of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. But I'm looking into the blueprints right now and the construction loans and kinda,
Nice.
Yeah.
And this would-
What are you building?
I was thinking of building a venue along with a house to rent. So yeah, so both it's 5 acres and it's by the lake. So I thought that would be a good idea for that.
Oh, very nice.
Almost like an event center where they can do
Kind of.
weddings.
And I could do short-term rental.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
How far is it from here?
About an hour.
Oh, not bad.
But it's on the lake?
It backs up. It's
Yeah.
the Corps of Engineer obviously owns all that. So there's, but I could see the lake.
Yeah.
I could
Oh,
see the
nice.
river
That's
lake,
beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what we spoke about earlier,
Yeah.
being creative, right?
Yes.
When it comes to short-term rentals.
Yep. Absolutely.
Tell them about the strategy that you do sometimes with the Airbnbs, that you keep zero financing on that.
Oh, okay. So I guess everyone has
gonna explode with Airbnbs.
Okay, so everyone does things differently, right? And a lot of people would tell me, well, why don't you just use that money and buy more properties, right? And I believe in that strategy of like, hey, you know what, don't put all your money in one place, don't do
Sure.
the X, Y, and Z. But I'm a single mom. I have 2 boys.
Right there with you.
Yeah. Oh. Not that I'm probably the single mother,
I'm just
but
a
I mean,
dad,
but we
not
do it
single.
by ourselves. So
but
you
I
should
do
be
what I have
proud.
to do, right?
Yeah.
Survival mode.
Yeah.
And I've always want to make sure that I have a safe zone for my kids, right?
Right.
And so when I first bought my Airbnb, I did the financing. I think it was a 5-year arm. I don't remember, it was a while back, but
Sure.
And I always said to myself, like, holy crap, if rates go up, shit
Mm-hmm.
hits the fan, what the fuck am I gonna do? And
And they did.
well, COVID hit
Yeah.
when I bought my first Airbnb. So what happened in COVID?
Rates dropped.
Rates
actually.
dropped.
Rates dropped, yes, but what happened with short-term rentals?
In the beginning,
At the beginning,
they got hurt.
Yeah.
they got hurt, right?
Yeah.
So when I first purchased it, I didn't predict COVID, right? But I was always like, well, if some shit happens, I need to make sure I could cover this. So I want to make sure I could cover my mortgage, right?
Yep.
Cover my personal, bills that I have. So I did the 30% down, I believe it was. But my goal was always like, I need to pay this off in case an emergency or in case if something goes horrible.
Sure.
The rates dropped, so that was great, right? I didn't have a huge mortgage, so I was able to get by. But I just paid it off. Anything that I made, I just paid it off. So in case the rates go up, I'm not stuck with the 8% rate, right? Which did happen. Yeah. So it's paid off.
Well, you could always lock in the rate too. Yeah. It doesn't need to be an adjustable.
Yeah. If that option was available, and that specific Airbnb that I had, you couldn't get just regular financing. It was a commercial. I had, uninsured. But so I don't owe. Most of my stuff is paid off.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Not everyone is that fortunate.
Well,
I shouldn't say fortunate. You've done it on your own. But how were you able to do that? How are you able to?
I don't buy Prada purses. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No. You know what? I've always been really good with my money saving and making sure that I have things paid off. And a lot of people disagree with that way of doing things. But it makes me feel safe. And for me, peace is worth more.
It is pretty old school.
Yeah, money. I mean, sorry, my piece is worth more money than having multiple properties, and then shit hits the fan, and I have to pay, and I'm at negative at 20 properties, right?
Yeah.
I just never wanted to be in that situation because I wanted to make sure I have a safe zone for my boys. But after my boys are 18, I'm going.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in the lending business.
Yeah.
So for us, we
utilize debt.
We like leverage.
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily max leverage, but careful leverage. So I honestly I admire the fact that you own all these properties outright. But I think even if you were to take a little bit of money out, remember that money that you take out is tax-free money.
Yeah. Which I'm actually looking into.
So even if you go 50% leverage, right? You're in a great spot. You really are. And you get that money cash. It's tax-free. You can reinvest in something else at 50, and you keep everything at 50 LTV. I mean, if things get that bad that at 50 LTV shit's not working, I mean, then it's the end of the world anyway. Honestly, that's the truth.
Everybody's hurting.
Yeah,
right?
Everybody's fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, then nothing is worth anything at that point.
Yeah.
So, to do it at 50 LTV, if you were going to do it, I would recommend that that would be my recommendation to you.
Yeah, and I am looking into options now for that. But I always
Not now. Wait.
Oh, but
I mean,
but like
wait
in
until the
my
rates come
vision,
down.
what I have in my
Yeah.
vision board right now in
Yeah.
my projects, I am looking into that because the plans that I have are a little bit bigger
Right.
than what I had before,
Yeah.
and I feel a little bit better as far as taking that risk. But before, my kids were young, and I'm like, you know what?
So smart.
Yeah. So
Listen,
now,
smart. I'm not
Very
going to say it's
smart.
not. Look,
Yeah.
my father owns everything without any, without any debt. I mean, everything.
the old school thinking, I
No,
feel
it's
like an
old
old
school.
lady here.
No, it's not. I think it's fantastic.
It worked
Really.
out. You know what?
It worked
God
out.
was talking to me to do certain things a certain way because now that my boys were in high school, and then the way things are, I'm able to just get up and leave
Yeah.
with them. And I did. I actually just came back. I was gone for 3 months and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry.
So I have
That's
a question
amazing.
for you. What if you had to reinvent yourself today? Okay, what would be the business that you would do? What would you do today if you, with everything that you know?
Like right now.
Right now,
Going back
right-
then.
Right now, no. God forbid, you lose everything and you have to just reinvent yourself. Right? What would be in the real estate business or any other business? What would you be doing right now?
Okay, so I think whether it's real estate or anything, any business, there's two things that I always say that'll make you successful or you could thrive in: knowing psychology and marketing. Why psychology? Because you have to know how people think. Why is consumerism so important, right? You have to understand people's mind and the way they work, what buys, what sells, right?
Yep.
Statistics too is important, right?
Very
and
important.
Marketing, why? Because I could sell you this water, right, without this brand, and I could put my own brand if I know how to market it. This water is home versus the most expensive water, right? So whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever business, if you know how to sell something, you'll be successful. So no matter if it's back in the days now, that always thrives, right? That's my take on that.
Right. But what would be a business you would do?
I think
What do you recommend?
real estate, all that I would.
What in real estate? Like what aspect of real estate? I'll tell you. Like for instance, when I get asked that question all the time from young people. I want to get into the real estate game. What do you think I should do? And I automatically answer.
Mortgage.
I go, well, besides mortgages, I say, because mortgage business is very hard.
It is.
Yeah. If
it,
I had
it
to
takes
do,
the right kind of
if
person.
I had to do it again, I actually wouldn't do mortgages. That's the truth. It's a hard gig. It really is. Look,
Being a realtor is tough.
look, it's very hard. Being a realtor is very hard.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example. I woke up this morning. I was having a fantastic day, looking to come out here, and then I get a fucking call that I have 2 homes in the middle of Glendale that I finance that are about to catch fire. Right? Yeah. I mean, that stress, knowing that the insurance companies are now saying,
Yeah, and State Farm
go fuck
revoked all
yourself.
the fire
Yeah,
policies.
go fuck yourself. We're not going to even
Yeah.
cover losses. I mean, that's about, between the two of them, about $3 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for real.
Wait, are these my deals?
No. No.
Because I just closed.
Look, she's
4
like, hold on, no.
I just closed 4 deals in Glendale.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
When did you fund them?
October.
No.
Okay.
No. These are on the warehouse line right now.
Got it.
So, yeah. So, in terms of lending, it's taken a lot out of my life.
Yeah.
Like the stress. But I'm addicted to it like this one.
Yeah, and it's because at the end of the day, it's all on the lender, right?
Yes.
The pressure is all on the lender.
Yeah.
The lender has to be. You have to bring in the value. We have nothing to do with it. But
it's your fault.
It's
fucking your fault.
So
appraisal came in short. It's your fault.
you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you work with lenders all the time.
No, but even they're gonna blame us.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like, no, motherfucker. It's not my fault. It's the fucking appraisal.
Yeah.
How can I change the comps? You're buying the
Yeah.
fucking property at the wrong
It's
value.
your appraiser.
Well, it's your appraiser. Right? It's like, no, you're dumb enough to fucking buy a property overvalued.
Yeah.
How is that on me?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
but-
No,
so
that's
we just
the brunt of everything.
We get the brunt of everything. Meanwhile, without us, nothing would fucking run.
Yeah.
Nothing would
Yeah,
happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's
Exactly.
like we get the most abuse, but without us, nothing would happen. And the best thing is, everybody has their hands out to us, And when it comes time to making a fucking deal work, who did they ask first? Yeah. Oh, you're charging 2 points. Why don't you do less? No, why the fuck am I going? Go talk to no offense, go talk to the fucking realtor. How come the realtor isn't the one? And in the regular mortgage business game, you know why the realtor doesn't kick in?
Why?
Because the realtor is the one that referred you the deal. And God forbid you dig into that motherfucker's pocket. You're never going to get another deal. So what do? We eat shit. Although we made the whole fucking thing happen, we eat shit.
Well, we all eat shit.
No,
okay?
we don't.
But...
No, we don't. Because there's the lender that eats shit first. And if it wasn't for the fucking lender, the deal would, and last. And we have all the risk. Because you as the realtor, you sell the property and you're done. Me as the lender, I'm stuck with that fucking loan for 30 years. If it's a regular loan. If it's an FHA loan or a conventional loan, I'm stuck with that motherfucker for 30 years. Am I wrong?
No.
Something goes wrong with that. But meanwhile, I'm the first one. And that's why I'm not in that business anymore. Because now, with the business I'm in and we're in, if they come to us and there's a realtor involved, and I'm not getting the deal from the realtor, you know what I tell them? Go fuck yourself.
Well, it's so rare in our space, and you
it happens
can
sometimes.
attest to this. It does. But how often are you, as a realtor, dealing with a private lender and your client? Normally, it's going to be a conventional lender, right?
Correct.
And we were talking with Mike Gomez, last week, a few weeks ago, and I shared with him that it's so rare in today's time for realtors. Realtors are not my client.
Nope.
But in conventional lending, if I were a loan officer, you would be my bread and butter.
Yes.
So I need to figure out how to make you my client.
You're gonna have to be. You have to be their doormat.
Yeah.
As a as a regular
well,
lender.
and teacher, right? Knowledge is key.
All I'm saying is, look, I'm bitter. I am bitter because for 30. No,
like
really,
the way
I
you
am.
admit that
No,
I'm
I am.
bitter.
I'm bitter. I'm bitter. I'm still bitter. I am. Because I was a regular lender for many years before I switched sides and got into private lending. And the abuse that I took on a regular basis was just not, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, no offense to you because you're not one of them, but this fucking realtor is 3/4 retarded, knows nothing, and is on top of me, right? And they don't know shit from Shiola. Am I wrong?
Well, because everyone's
some fucking
everybody.
idiot. And they know nothing. They know nothing about anything.
Not all realtors are like that. Okay?
And I said not you. I'm saying not you, not you, because you're one of the top 1 or 2%. 98% of realtors are not savvy and they're not smart.
And they don't
educate
themselves
like you do. You're a real smart person. You're a smart. What I took away from everything you said that I loved, because it's something I do, you said, when I decide to do X, Y, and Z business, I read up on it. I educated myself. How about this? Let's bring in 10 fucking realtors in this room. 9 of them are as dumb as dirt. And the problem is, that's good for you, because that's what makes you special, right? And that's what makes
Mike. That's how I sell myself on the brand.
But that's what makes Mike Gomez special, right? That's what it makes you guys shine. But for us, on the other end of financing, having to deal with 9 out of fucking 10 people that are complete nincompoops, it's taxing. And having to eat shit that they give you, it's hard, right? And I don't miss that. I don't miss it.
Now you have to do their job too.
You do their job. You do everything, and they're on top of you. Why are you asking for this? Why don't you shut the fuck up? I want to say usually. Like, you shut your mouth. You know nothing about anything. I'm asking for a letter of explanation. Well, this guy wasn't asking for it. Well, is this the same fucking borrower that the other guy did? No. Well, you're talking oranges and fucking bananas.
Yeah.
The other guy didn't ask because this is a completely different fucking borrower. Like, I couldn't deal with that shit.
So what would you do then?
So what I would do, I would definitely not do mortgages. Okay. I would do private mortgages like we're doing. Definitely I would do that because it's a different game.
Completely different
game. And I would be a wholesaler because how about this? As smart as you are and as successful as you are, imagine if you put those smarts in the wholesale game, because the wholesale game is filled with scumbags. They are, right? 98% scumbags, right? But Dustin, again, and then
You also have the least risk.
you have
as
the
a
least risk.
wholesaler.
You have the
You
least
do.
risk.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you're smart, right? You're brilliant. I could just tell that you're really good at what you do. Now imagine the wholesalers that are making millions of dollars that know 1/10 of what you do,
Yeah, I know.
right? And they're making a ton of money. So now if you were to switch sides, if you were to go to the dark side, right? And maybe it's gray side and it's not completely black because you don't want to go and become that scumbag, right? Just think about the damage you could do and the conversations you could have and the smarts that you have. It's a completely different game. So for me, and I have a friend here who I was explaining to become a wholesaler, right? That is something that I think is brilliant. And like you said, Melissa, it's brilliant because you have zero risk.
Yeah, you are the only party within the transaction that literally has zero risk and a great reward.
Great reward.
Right? Usually it's high risk, high reward. As a wholesaler, there you have zero liability to that property. So, you have the seller who currently owns the house, you have the end buyer who will be the one holding that note, the mortgage, whatever it may be, the deed to that property. You have the lender involved, you have a realtor, but the wholesaler, they're just the middleman. And they're going to walk out with, what, 15,
100%.
15,000, 100,000?
You're right.
Yeah. They're just arbitraging.
Yeah.
Right.
I got this for 100. I'm
Yeah.
just going to give it to you for 120. Now you have all the risk. The seller just got, didn't get as much as they should have gotten. But I'm making my 20,000 in the middle. I'm making my 10,000.
They don't have to worry about renting out the property. They don't have to worry about if it's, a fix and flip, working with contractors. Is, how long is it going to take to
just
get that
connecting the
property
dots.
ready?
That's connecting.
That's it.
They're the connector.
Yeah.
In my language, we call them dalal. It means a merchant almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody who connects people, right? I'm going to connect Melissa with Maria. And then for that, I'm going to charge a fee.
You want to know one thing I would have done differently years ago is expand my network. I did not focus on that enough whatsoever. I didn't realize the importance of that, right? As a wholesaler, if you have that network, you're killing the game, right? You have all those connections, you have those relationships, whether it's, multiple realtors, investors, whatever it may be. So if I could go back, 10, 15 years ago, I would have held on and nurtured those relationships a lot differently. I'm definitely doing that now, but, it's not that I'm new to the game, but I'm just understanding and realizing the importance of it so much more today.
Absolutely.
And hence why I'm here with all of you.
And I guess it's to make it short, basically invest in real estate, and no matter what, it would be real estate, the field that we will go back into.
So, one last question for you. What is, if there ever is, I don't seem like you've had any major mistakes, but
No,
what would
I've
you
had
say?
a lot of major mistakes.
No, in investing. In investing, what would you tell people to stay away from because you've gotten hurt yourself? What's a common mistake that people make that you want to educate them to not make? What is the most common mistake you would say? And that you had to learn the hard way from investing yourself?
You know what? When it came to the real estate decisions I've made, I've never had something I regret when it came to the purchase.
That's amazing.
Obviously, I was very careful in every buy that I had and nervous. Look, I've been in the business since 2005.
Yeah.
Technically 2017, but I got my license in 2005. And every purchase that I have, I'm nervous. I still have the fear, So, but I'm very careful in what I buy. And like I said, because I'm paranoid and I'm always like, I gotta feel comfortable that I can afford it. So I don't regret any purchase I buy because at the end of the day, I still was able to, build equity and make money.
Well, and you're smart. So you do the analysis, you ensure that there's going to be positive cash flow, and
a
that
backup.
there is a profit for you.
But I think that one of the things that I recommend is always do your research and always have the right person next to you advising you, because that'll break you or make you.
100%. I agree
And
with
if
you.
you go with somebody because they're just your friend, or because
Oh yeah,
mistake.
big
or-
mistake.
Big
or
mistake.
because you think they just have their license, or they just have no, you need to make sure that they know what they're doing and they're looking in your best interest, because you can make a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
When it comes to real estate, I don't regret none of my deals.
But so that's your recommendation. You've seen people just deal with people that don't know, and that's how they lose.
Yeah, they go into thinking that they're investing, and
Yeah.
they partner up with someone, and they realize that the numbers didn't make sense. Or I've come across people that are building, right? And then they call me, and they're like, well, I want to sell this house, and this is the price I want to sell it for, because I put this amount in it. And I look at it, I was like, you went above and beyond with what you spent.
Yeah.
I said, just because you put this type of material doesn't mean you're going to get the same in
Right.
return. You should have gotten advice from a professional before you started, even from the colors that you chose, right?
Yeah.
So those are mistakes I see a lot. And a lot of people that are contractors, or they try to build, and they too much money in something, they're not getting advice by the right people before they even come up with their plan.
Well, they're also, I try to tell people there are certain things that you shouldn't save money on, right? You can't be cheap with certain things.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you're going to go out and get an attorney, get the best attorney you can get with the money that you have,
You're right.
right? Because let's say you're going to just go after the cheapest. Then you're
Or if you find some cheap contractors to do some of your work.
But that's also the same thing.
And then you pay for more because you end up having to repair the
Exactly.
crappy shit that
Now,
they do.
then you have contractors, same thing. CPAs, same thing. So it's the team that you put together is going to garner the results that you're going to get, right?
Yes.
So now if I go out there and I think about things like a fucking sports team, right? Let's say, baseball team, I'm getting B and C players, and then I want to win games. How am I ever going to win games if they all suck?
You're right.
It just doesn't make sense. Or it's like creating a juice or like a milkshake, right? I'm putting shit bananas, shit milk in there. Honestly, and then I expect the outcome to be good.
Yeah.
How am I going to expect that? All the ingredients I put into this fucking thing is horrible, but I'm expecting that the end product is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd be out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're dealing with winners, right?
Yes.
I have the best attorney. I have the best accountant. I have the best loan officer. I have the best underwriter. And I'm paying for it, right? But if I'm getting winning results, then everything I'm paying for is just fucking gravy.
It's
Correct.
another investment.
Yeah, it's an investment.
And another thing is that a lot of people think that because these people have tons of followers, they know what they're doing. That's not always true.
Well,
Yeah, right?
No.
Yeah. Just because
No.
they have 1 million followers doesn't mean that they are the ones that are going to do best by your side. You have to know, okay, what are they really like in real life? What is it that they're doing? How good are they in real life? Not just because I look pretty and I have like 1 million
Yeah,
followers,
of
right?
course. But who was the guy I trashed on yesterday? That fucking idiot.
Like,
But he has a lot of followers, yeah.
Okay. Like millions, doesn't he?
But tell them what he said. Yeah.
So he said he's talking to investors and he says, explaining to them, if you own 10 homes and each house is producing, $2,500, then you're going to get a cash flow of $25,000 a month. I'm like, well, besides you're one of the very few people I know. Well, how about the fucking expenses?
Yeah.
Like, how about the taxes?
Yeah.
How about maintenance? How about the fucking mortgage payment? How about the property tax? Who's clearing?
Yeah.
Right.
What's
your expenses?
Besides you, which you're special, right? And old school people that own properties outright. I don't know too many people. Do you know too many people that own 10 investment properties free and clear?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So you have the mortgage payment, you have the taxes, you have maintenance. So the advice, I'm like, this guy's out of his mind. You're not taking $25,000 home, and you're not living off of fucking $25,000. And that's not the number, right? But
Yeah.
that's what he's telling people.
Yeah, I have noticed there's people that say you can make this amount, but you're not including all the deductions, everything that it costs, your mortgage, and what's the final number, right?
What's the final number?
Yeah, that's what you really need to explain.
But what about the occupancy, right? You're not going to get, even in your Airbnb, do you have 100% occupancy?
No, absolutely not.
What
That's
is
like
it?
rare to hear.
It's what? You have 65, 70%?
Yeah, 65, 65.
So when people are doing their numbers and they're giving these explanations and idiots are following them as if they're, it's the Bible. And I sit there 3/4 of the time when we're recording debunking idiots.
Yeah.
That are giving stupid advice to people.
Yeah, there's
you know?
a female investor out there. I don't recall her name, but she has a very large following on social media. And she did an analysis on one of her posts and broke it down. And it looked great, right? If you're not in the business and actually the numbers were completely off. The math didn't math.
Yeah.
So anyone that's intelligent, you don't even have to be in the business, would, identify that, hey, you have a problem here. But again, she has a huge following, and I'm sure a bunch of people didn't even take the time to use their brain to see that breakdown does not make sense. But it's kind of how the world works right now,
And she's
right?
got millions of followers.
Millions
It's
of followers.
insane. Yeah,
It's
I've
insane.
seen that. I've seen some, and I always tell when I get people that want advice, I'm like, don't get fooled by this other people because they have this much following. That doesn't mean that's correct.
Yeah.
That's why you do your own due diligence, with yourself, learning the right information from the right source.
100%.
Or these people that are out there giving legal advice.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not even attorneys. Or they're not even attorneys, or they're giving general fucking legal advice on real estate.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or like what you say, that the short-term rentals, that they're marketing it, but they're not really breaking down the numbers.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? They don't break down the numbers. Or they'll give like general legal advice. And the whole time I'm like, I hope people aren't listening to this shit because they're going to fuck up their lives.
Yeah,
And,
it's a gamble.
It's a gamble. But they're out there and they're doing it. They just, I had another guy, you'll get a kick out of this. The guy was saying to make bi-weekly mortgage payments because you end up making one extra payment that way, right? A year.
Okay.
Right? I said, if you do that, your servicer is going to mark you 30 days late across the board. Okay?
Well, you'd have to actually reach out to your
Correct.
servicer and let them know to apply it.
Right. And they have to
Correct.
and they have to okay that.
Yes, and they have to okay it.
And then I go, well, that's like eating food, going like this and trying to eat. Why am I, if my fucking goal at the end of the year is to make one extra payment, why am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Risk getting, hit as being 30-day late.
Yep.
Just make an extra fucking payment.
Yeah.
Once a year. And you
Right.
just accomplish your goal.
Some
And it's
people
less
don't
work.
know how to manage their money that
They don't
way.
know how to,
Yeah.
right.
It's a psychological thing.
But they're giving, but this is the type of advice. And the whole time I sit there, I go, they're going to be actual idiots because this guy's got 300,000 followers. They're going to be people out there. I shouldn't call them
going to
idiots. I
listen.
shouldn't. I'm not going to even call them. They're going to be uninformed people that are going to take this idiot's advice
With misinformation.
with misinformation and jack up their
It's
credit.
a scary world out
It's
there.
a scary world.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous.
It's very,
very
dangerous.
dangerous.
That's why I tell my kids.
Well, yeah,
you know,
especially with social media
Yeah,
today.
social media.
I mean, once you get that following,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can put anything out there,
Yeah.
and they'll believe you.
and they will
That's
believe
why you
you.
should follow me and follow Melissa.
That's right.
Are you on social media?
I am.
And follow Maria for the real fucking advice. Because we're never going to steer you wrong. And we're going to call out motherfuckers that do.
Right?
That's what we're here to
You
do.
have a lot of followers now. Are you careful with the advice that you give?
Always. Always. And how about this? Not on a very rare occasion, if someone makes a point that I agree with them. Right? But sometimes I get assholes too. Like I was describing on the 203K loan, that it goes based off of 97% of the after repair value. The guy he goes, you're wrong. I go, how am I wrong? It's 96.5%.
Oh, God.
Right? I go, really? Read the fucking comment. Oh, for real? I go, I'm sorry. You're right. I was half a fucking percent off.
Yes.
It's 96.5% of the after repair value. Right? So then I get assholes like that on a regular basis.
I mean,
and I'll correct myself.
because there's people out there that love it, right? They just feed off that.
Yeah. But
You're going
thing
to
is,
have that.
You're going to have it. But the difference is, like that idiot that was, he had a course and he's trying to teach. But you know what I also get on that? I'll get comments. This guy's ultra successful. How could you talk to him that way? Oh, if it was the fucking president of the United States and I disagree with him, I call him an asshole.
Right.
Who is this fucking guy that I want to call an asshole? I know so many
He's the
rich
king
people.
of motherfuckers.
I am.
Right? So.
I am the king of motherfucking people. But what makes you think just because someone has money, they're not a fucking idiot?
Right? Some
Or
people
because
get
they
that
have money,
confused.
they're not going to give bad advice. How does
You
that
also don't
fucking
know
work?
where their money came from, right?
I don't know.
Couldn't-
You're right. He could have been born with money.
Exactly.
I don't know how this guy got
That's
money.
the problem with some people. We're all humans, so we all make mistakes. We all make.
I don't make any
Right.
mistakes.
Oh,
I don't
well.
make any.
Well, I do. Okay.
I'm never fucking wrong. No. I'm wrong sometimes, but at least I admit when I'm wrong. On a very rare occasion that I'm wrong. I do admit it.
How do you know if you're wrong? If you're always right?
Whenever my wife tells me I'm wrong,
Okay.
I say, I go, you're
That's a
right.
good one.
I don't. I
And
never.
that is the only time.
I never argue with her, so she's the only one. And she pointed out, she goes, "You fucked up. You're wrong." Even when I'm
You're
not,
like,
I
"Yeah,
go,
I did."
"You're absolutely right, honey. I'm fucking absolutely right." So
What's your thoughts on glamping? Have you thought in the property you have in the lake, instead of putting like a property there, putting like tents and stuff?
I've
she's not
considered-
into it. She's not into it.
We
had-
have-
I'm
talked
actually
about it a
into that,
little
but I
bit.
think I would need.
Yeah.
I was looking into land for that because there's some areas where you're not allowed.
to glam.
Oh, really?
Tell us when you.
Well,
do
it's
your
almost
research.
like there. Do you think they're considered almost like tiny homes, right?
No.
No.
No, then probably not. Then they don't have it on the regulations. But some of the property, the land, you have to be careful because a lot of them are starting to restrict like tiny homes and things like that. So I don't think that would apply. Then probably I could do
Yeah,
that.
I have seen
Yeah,
what
these are
you're
tents.
talking about.
These are high-end tents.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
probably I can, but which is a good idea. But I know
You're gonna have
and
to give us
each-
10%
if you-
of whatever you make.
maybe we could.
Yeah. If you do some research and see what's out there, everyone's starting their own little nichey thing, like I was saying before, whether it's the mirrored cabin or the domes or the luxury tents. Each one has a hot tub outside, an outdoor shower, some marvelous view or secluded within the woods, but they're making a killing.
And it's such a
An
new thing that
absolute
it's not on
killing.
restrictions.
And their overhead is
Yeah.
So
much
that means you
less.
could go
So get
around
now.
it
Get it now.
legally.
Yeah.
Get it now.
Yeah,
That's
you're
it.
right.
So if you decide to do it,
Yeah,
give me a call. We'll do it
I
together.
might consider it now that I think about it.
We can even
I'm
do
in
projects
too.
together with it.
Maybe. Yeah, if she wants, sure. So anyway, any other questions?
I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful to get to meet you, and
Me
know,
too.
again, as I was
Likewise,
saying,
likewise.
How come
expanding
we
my
haven't met you
network.
before? What's going on?
I've been missing in action. Been traveling this past few months.
7 months. She's
Oh wow!
Really?
Where?
So I did the road trip.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
I've been
that was
traveling all over
recent.
through Mexico, but this time I got in my car, drove all the way across the line, all the way to California, crossed the border to Mexico.
Oh wow!
Then Guadalajara, Tulum, Cancun.
Wow.
Such a hard life you.
I know.
When you're traveling with teenagers,
I'm gonna start crying.
when you're traveling with teenagers, you want to choke the shit out of them sometimes. But
Oh, I want to chuck. The
That's
shit out
every
of
day.
My non-teenagers.
Yeah.
Believe me, my 9-year-old,
oh yeah,
he'll break the Pope.
oh
He'll
yeah.
turn the Pope into a murderer. He would.
Wait till they're 17.
I have a 16-year-old,
Okay, so yeah, there you go.
and it's a girl. But
I don't know about girls. I have boys.
Right,
Yeah, me too.
But my little son, he will break the saint. He'll be the best saint on the planet. He'll break that motherfucker.
Yeah, my son's goal
break.
is to drive me insane right now. I'm
Yes.
positive of
Yes,
that.
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you have
how
one.
can
You have one. I deal
have
with 3.
Yes.
Yeah. it's
One's
hard.
and that's enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
Got two.
Yeah.
That goes to show you the advantages of owning properties outright and have the properties cash flowing, the freedom that it gives you, that she can travel for 7
that's-
months.
Yeah.
She's special. Not everybody
Yes.
can do that, unfortunately. So other people can have cash flow, but with leverage.
Yeah. Well, they can strive. You know, they can strive to get where she is.
Yes.
They can
Absolutely.
strive, yes.
Like that's why I say
Or-
some people have different ways that they
Right.
put their money in.
Right.
So it depends on the game you want to play when it comes to money.
Right.
Right. I chose
Yeah.
to play that game because I felt safer there.
100%. Look,
You did it smart.
Yeah, she
right?
did.
And look at you now.
Yeah. The difference is, do I want to cash flow and own leveraged 20 properties or unleveraged 5 properties?
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong
There's not
answer. It's just your preference. And if you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people that are trying to get into the business, into the real estate business, they have to get creative,
Yeah.
and they're not liquid.
And you got to remember too that I got very creative when the market crashed too.
Yeah.
I bought,
Super smart.
and then I kept my first home and
Right.
and I bought young,
Yeah.
So
and,
smart.
Yep.
it's
And-
the fear that keeps us from not doing things.
And I
just
think
went
you're
for-
young like me. We're 25, so sky's the limit
Yeah,
on.
24.
Okay, 24. Yeah, I'm
said
a
it.
little bit older than you.
I said it yesterday. I said Melissa is the first person on the planet who gave birth while she was in her mom's womb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
What are you now? 28?
No, 25.
25.
25. Yes, a year older than Maria.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a funny joke. So it's not even a joke. It's reality. So my little guy, the one that's just could break anyone. He wasn't always like this, by the way.
Tasmanian. Yeah.
So he was like 5 years old, and we had a running joke with my mom, where my mom would always say, "She's 35." And we would just say, "Oh, we're celebrating my mom's 35th birthday." Just
Yeah.
as a joke, right?
Yeah.
So after a while, my son comes to me. He says, "Dad, how is she your fake mom?"
Oh my
I
God.
go, "No, why is she my fake mom?" He says, "Well, if you're 52 and she's 35, how
Yeah.
could she be your mommy?" I'm like, "She's really not 35, Zebby."
Yeah.
God, he
And he
believed
goes,
it.
"Oh, okay, Daddy."
Yeah.
But he couldn't figure it out
Yeah.
because he really believed my mom was 35.
That was
It's like, damn, she looks good.
Zeb, yeah. No.
That's
No.
cute.
Yeah.
That's
So-
so funny.
But anyway, thank you so much.
thank
I
you.
Yes,
hope,
thank you.
We'll have you on again if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I know-
absolutely.
I
Thank
know
you for
we're-
having me.
We debunked some of the stuff you were saying, unfortunately, and we didn't agree on some, but we agreed
It's
on
okay.
some others.
part of the
And
program.
that's part of the program.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we wish you the best of luck. You're
you.
fantastic at what you're doing. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. Really,
Thank you.
It's,
And I look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
So, in
we're-
one
we're-
way or
we're-
another.
Yeah, we're looking forward to putting you in debt.
Okay,
what we're
that's right.
Maybe not
No,
you.
no,
Maybe
her.
one of your clients.
This
No,
is part
her.
of the indoctrination, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We're
This is
gonna-
how it goes.
We're going to put you in debt and every fucking client you have. That's
Can you
our
bring
goal.
the loan docs out, please? No.
Sign right
Don't
here.
let her
Yeah.
leave. Mortgage up all her fucking properties
Yeah.
before she leaves. That's the end. And Melissa, say bye.
So long.
Ciao. You've been listening to The Game of Loans, where real estate battles are fought and won. Make sure to fortify your defenses by subscribing. Cash flow is coming, and we'll be back next time to help you claim your throne. The war of wealth continues.